Okay, so let me write statue here. And man, I think before we go deeper in, we got to backtrack and go to that Wandering Alchemist again. So again, I'm going to rule, even though I think this might be incorrect, I played this way for a while, and so I got comfy with it. So even if it's correct to roll for Wandering Monsters in the opening room, I'm not sure I want to. If you're having fun, you're doing it right. And it's more fun for me to consider this a safe room. So they're going to move back through here and then rejoin the Wandering Alchemist, who I believe remains, right? Let me see. It says you can meet a Wandering Alchemist only once per game. If you meet him again, treat this result as a trap and roll on the traps table. But I think that means you can't, like, generate a room that has him appear in it more than once. I think, unless there's a note about him leaving, there's nothing about him leaving the room. So I'm going to assume that he is still there, kind of very cleverly setting up temporary shop very close to the entrance of a dungeon. You know, so as heroes come in, he can be like, "You sure you want to go in without maybe just a couple more potions? You sure? I've been here for a little bit. I've been hearing things back there. They're not good. Maybe a couple of potions. What do you think?" I think, yeah. At 50 gold coins, I'll get 2 potions from him. So that's going to bring my coin total down to 20. And I will give the first healing potion to Patience. The second one, yeah, the second one to... I mean, they can always pass them to each other if I feel like they need to. But these guys typically take the brunt of attacks as we explore. So I'll give it to them. Okay, so now what that does mean, as I return to this room, I've already been to this room, so I do need to roll for Wandering Monsters. I'm trying to remember. I think as I pass through a room, if I roll a 1 in that room, then I hit a Wandering Monster. Nope, we're good. All right, so now we're going to head into this room, generate it, and see what happens. 6. Okay. Oh, wait. Idiot. Come on, Pater. 62. I gotta always remember to roll different colored 6-sided dice. Alright. So yeah, that's what we're looking at there. Pretty straightforward. And this also is considered a corridor, not a room. So we'll roll for the contents here. 8. That's going to be empty, but I can search. And so I am going to search. Let's see what we get. A 5. Which means I either get a clue, a secret, or a hidden treasure, as explained on page 56. You know, my dwarf already has 2 clues. I think I might... Let's see, a character found a clue for something big. That's what this means. You don't have to determine what it is in advance. You just mark that you have a clue on your character sheet. When the character has gained 3 clues, your character has discovered a major secret. The character immediately makes 1 XP roll, gaining a level if he succeeds, so that's cool. I forgot about that. And chooses one of the following game effects to represent the secret he discovered. Let's roll for that level gain first. I need to... Gosh. I gotta remind myself how the XP roll works. I think I have to roll higher then, or is it equal to my character's level? I think it might be higher then. Good gravy. It should be in the glossary, right? That's the kind of thing you would put in the glossary. Because there's no way I'm going to find it in a timely manner just kind of flipping through the book. Time limits. There we go, leveling up. Okay. So... higher than the character's current level. Higher than the character's current level. Okay, so he's level 4. I need to get a 5 or a 6 for him to level up. Nope, got a 4. So it does get increasingly more difficult to level up your characters, which I don't know, I got mixed feelings about. But moving on. What did we just... I lost my place now. 32... Is that the page I was on? No. Oh, clues. That's right. You were looking at clues. Let's see here. 56. Page 56. Okay. So I could discover with these, having found this third clue now, the weakness of a monster, so that when I meet a boss monster of my choice, I have +2 to attack that monster. It lasts for the whole duration of that combat, not just for a single attack. And all characters in the party enjoy that bonus. That's pretty appealing. Deal with a monster. When you encounter a monster, you may declare that you have a deal with the creature. The monster will let your party pass through the room without attacking you any time that you need to. You may not, however, take the monster's treasure. You may not use this rule with vermin or with the final boss. Nah. Location of a secret treasure. When you enter any empty room, not the first room of a dungeon, you recognize it as the location of a hidden treasure that can be revealed by speaking the correct password. A niche opens in a wall, and you find 3d6 times 10 gold pieces. I don't know, that doesn't sound that exciting since I just gained 3d6 times 10. Location of a magic item. When you enter any room in a dungeon, but not the starting room, you will recognize it as the location of a hidden magic item that can be revealed by speaking the correct password. You immediately gain 1 magic item from the random magic items table. I don't know, I've gotten stuff from that table before. It's not super exciting. Hey, John Wilkerson. Thanks for jumping in the chat. He says, what is going on here? I don't normally get a chance to watch a live stream. So this is part of Tabletop Dungeon Fest this week. I'm streaming for 3 hours. I modified the schedule. It was originally going to be longer, but I realized yesterday I don't quite have the focus in me to go much longer than 3 hours at a time. So for 3 hours each day, Monday through Thursday this week, from 8:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Arizona time. And you can find a link below to find a quick reference for what time it is in Arizona right now. I'm playing tabletop games. I played Hero Quest all of yesterday, and probably for the rest of the week I'm going to be playing 4 Against Darkness. This is a tabletop dungeon crawl that I think mimics, whether it intends to or not, mimics really well the grid-based, turn-based video game dungeon crawl genre, like Wizardry and Wizardry clones. It's very streamlined. The combat is not really tactical. It's more about pushing your resources and seeing how deep and how far into the dungeon you can go before your spells or your health or your other life-giving equipment runs out and you need to return back to the surface. And despite having really simplified rules, I'm really impressed with how much theme is crammed into this game. So anyway, that's a That's just a very brief introduction to what the stream's about and what this game is about. John says, cool, I might be able to watch most days this week. Okay, cool. Well, hopefully you find it interesting and not too distracting from whatever else you got going on, because I think... Oh, no, you're at East Coast time, but this is still in a lot of people's, even East Coast for a while, going to be during people's work days. So I never anticipate that many people will come out for these. The main reason I do it is to record, to put up then weekly board gaming content after I'm all done. But I thought, while I'm recording, hey, why don't I stream? Okay, so we what did we just do? I'm trying to decide what the cool clue is. What the clue is going to kind of give me access to, because I've got a third clue. A true name of a spiritual entity. This could be one of my options for the third clue that I've found now. You are in contact with an angel or demon, your choice, but once chosen, it cannot be changed. During a game, you may call an angel to heal a single character to full health or to rescue him out of a trap door. Alternatively, you may call a demon to inflict 4 life points of damage to a single creature or to automatically kill up to 6 minions. That's cool against minions. Let's see, once used... Well, actually 4 against a tough boss right in one hit would be pretty cool too. Once used, this power is lost forever and may not be gained again by the same character in the same campaign. Not just dungeon, but like you can't do this twice in a campaign. Interesting. I could choose to gain a new spell. Only an elf or wizard may take this. Add a spell to your repertoire. I think I'm okay with my spells for now. Secret to increase magical or spiritual power. Now, I believe... Have I done this for Elderast already? I think I might have. Let me see here. I'm almost positive I had this somewhere, but maybe I didn't make a note of this. I thought... No, I think I thought about it. I think I seriously thought about it and gave it to somebody else. And I think I think I gave it to the barbarian because he was just going to be... I was in survival mode, and he was the one it was going to be most advantageous to the party's survival to give him some kind of bonus. So I didn't do this before, but anyway, this can be taken by a cleric, wizard, or elf, and only once per character in a campaign. You increase by 1 the number of times that you can use a single specific spell or the healing ability during an adventure. Oh, hold the phone. No, I have done this. I did that for... What spell? What spell did I do that for? I think I did it for the fireball spell. So, I've done that once already. I'm almost positive. I think maybe that's what this thing over here was. It was... when I had this marked here, I think it was like an extra fireball spell. Let me, just so I don't confuse myself, gosh, put an extra thing over here, I guess. And so right now, I do have an extra fireball spell. I need to make note of that. So I've already given this to Elderast, and I just lost track of it. So we're not going to do that. I mean, I could give it to the cleric, but like I said, I'm considering phasing out my cleric in favor of a different class. So I don't really want to build into him, necessarily. Location of a scroll. A character who normally cannot cast spells, but not a barbarian, can take this. You find a scroll with a spell of your choice hidden in a niche in the dungeon. If cast by a non-spell caster, the spell will be cast at level 1, even if the character's level is higher. No. Ooh. Recipe for a potion. One thing that I would love to see more of in this game is crafting. And that would... what I want to do is create a character class. Like, I would seriously consider, if I felt like, okay, I don't need the cleric and his healing spells and other abilities, then I would create like a monster hunter class. Because I'm just such a big Monster Hunter fan these days. And I love the idea of them being just experts at monster killing. and also doing some cool crafting, taking components from monsters and making weapons and potions and stuff out of them. I think it's so cool. Oh my gosh, can I just stop this stream right now and play Monster Hunter Rise? No. But I love that idea. And so, recipe for a potion. Let's see here. You have to kill at least 2 boss monsters and spend 50 gold pieces for the material components of the potion. After you have accomplished this, you may purchase a potion of healing before every adventure at the cost of 50 gold pieces. You are assumed to have hired an apprentice alchemist at home. Interesting. The apprentice brews a new potion for you that is ready when you begin a new adventure. So, purchase a potion of healing before every adventure. So it sounds like this is a one and done thing. After you've accomplished this, you may purchase a potion of healing before every adventure at the cost of 50 gold pieces. So it's not the other things I kind of get right away, like scrolls or a magic item or gold pieces. But this one, it's like I found the recipe and now I need to go kill 2 boss monsters and spend 50 gold pieces for the material components of the potion. After you have accomplished this, you may purchase a potion of healing before every adventure at the cost of 50 gold pieces. So maybe I'm trying to work that out thematically. Like, why do you only need the components from the monster the first time you make the potion? Is that to just kind of, it's a prototype and you're testing it and making it work, and then after that you can just you teach your alchemist to do what you did? I don't know. But as far as mechanically, I like the idea of only spending 50 gold pieces on a healing potion. But since I'm already modifying the rules to allow my characters to hold and use more than 1 healing potion per dungeon, I don't want to lean into potions anymore right now until I see how that might rebalance or unbalance the game. Man, lots more options here. Terrifying Secret would be another option. This sounds cool. Whenever a monster or group of minions must make a morale roll in your presence, which happens when you pass the halfway point in their number or in their life points that you've taken away. At that point, you may utter the unspeakable secret, and the monster or monsters will automatically fail their morale roll. This has no effect on monsters that do not test morale or the final boss. Whenever a monster or group of... Is this a permanent thing? Whenever a monster or group of minions must make a morale roll in your presence, you may utter the unspeakable secret, and the monsters will automatically fail their morale roll. This has no effect on monsters. That can't be a permanent thing. My gosh, morale rolls are such a major part of combat in this game. Sounds pretty cool, though. I don't know. Let me think about it. Someone will pay big money for that, is another option. You know a nobleman who lost an heirloom or a jewel. If you find a jewel gem or any item of jewelry with a gold piece value and you manage to carry it out of the dungeon, you can sell it for 3 times its stated value. I feel like I'm doing good on gold right now. Oh, interesting. The next one is your enemy is in the dungeon, it's called. A Chaos Lord has done something terrible to your character. And actually, the final boss of this mission is a Chaos Lord. A Chaos Lord has done something terrible to your character, and you know he's been plotting and scheming to hurt you. When you meet a boss monster, you may change it with a Chaos Lord and fight against him with a +1 to your attack rolls. The bonus lasts for the duration of the combat. No, because that just sounds like actually it would end up being an additional Chaos Lord. I don't necessarily want to do that. 3 more of these. Someone has been imprisoned. An important character, a prince, noble, rich merchant, etc., is a prisoner in the dungeon. You may meet him in any room guarded by minions or by a boss monster. If you manage to free him and bring him out of the dungeon alive, you will receive a random magic item and a random treasure, or a doubling of your current gold pieces, whatever is best for you. The prisoner is chained to a wall. An adventurer can break the chain during combat by winning an attack roll against level 4. Rogues and barbarians add their level when attempting to set the character free. An adventurer rolling to free the prisoner may not attack the monsters that turn. I don't know. So what is that ultimately? If I get him out alive, random magic item and a random treasure? I don't know. This one I've already used. You descend from a bloodline of dragon slayers. Only a barbarian or dwarf may take this. It gives them +1. against defense and attack when dealing with dragons. And my dwarf already has that. I don't have a barbarian, so I can't really use that. And finally, secret diet. You learn a secret diet to increase your stamina. You may not share it with your friends. As long as you spend 100 gold in food prior to each adventure, you will have 1 extra life point until the end of the adventure. The diet is not magical and can be used by barbarians. Halflings need to spend only 50 gold because they have access to excellent food already. Okay, this actually sounds a little bit like Monster Hunter. Like when you eat right before you go on a hunt, it increases your max health. Okay, so I'm thinking right now either secret diet or terrifying secret. Gosh, that terrifying secret, just like, if it is permanent, which sounds like it's permanent, whenever a monster or group of minions must make a morale roll in your presence, you may utter the unspeakable secret. Maybe it's permanent, but I have to like attach it to one of my characters. So that, for example, if that character dies, my party would lose this ability. That would make sense to me and not feel too overpowered. Whenever a monster or group of minions must make a morale roll in your presence, you may utter the unspeakable secret. Yeah, I'm going to make that choice. And I will not... Oh, gosh. I was going to say, just to be a little more fair, I won't give it to Eldorast, because my house rule is that if Eldorast dies, unlike the other party members, he will resurrect somehow. Well, but that's more of a thematic thing. I was going to force him to go back to level 1 if he does die. I will not give it to Eldorast. I will give it to... not the cleric, because I might replace him soon. I'm going to give it to Eldorast. Okay, but do I want to do that? Let's look one more time. Secret diet. I think the secret diet might be more useful than the morale roll thing. Let's do that. So let me read this again. You learn a secret diet. I'm going to give this to Patience the dwarf. He's going to, you know... maybe Patience is more appropriate than I originally thought, because he just patiently takes a beating at the front of the group over and over and over again. So this will be great for him. You learn a secret diet to increase your stamina. Can't share it with your friends. As long as you spend 100 gold in food prior to each adventure, you will have 1 extra life point until the end of the adventure. So that is a bit pricey. That is a bit pricey, but I really think... maybe not. If I'm going to let myself take more than 1 potion and use more than 1 potion per character, and they cost 100 gold coins, that is a more effective, use of health point spending. All right. Eldorast is getting the terrifying secret. All right, where am I going to put this? Abilities. Here we go. So right here. Choices, right? What is the page number here? Page 59. Okay. 59. Okay. Boy. All right, I need to, let's see. Okay. Moving on. That was exciting stuff. We searched here, so I need to make a note of that so I know that I can't search here again. And I got that clue. That was super cool. And now finally we're ready to move on. So we'll go north and see what is north of us. .42 is the shape of the room. Or corridor in this case. It is a corridor. Okay. So right there. I don't know that turning it over is really going to make much difference. So let's see here. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, oops, up 1. 2, and then over 2, and down. Okay, so we're right there. Let's roll for corridor contents. 6. In a corridor, that means... well, let me check and see if there's any room details to share on this one. Oh, there are. I rolled a 4. So let me look at my room details page. I have to roll on it, actually. This is... I can't remember who wrote this supplement. When you print it out, the author's name isn't on it. But this is also like a user-made thing. So I'm going to roll on this room details table to see if there's anything interesting going on here. I rolled a 4, and nope, nothing. Just standard dungeon dressing, bits of bone, dried blood, spatters, trash, etc. So that was just something that I found appealing because after a little while, the rooms can get kind of samey. There are some official supplements that I think add some variety. But it was nice to have something, even just with the base game, to add variety to the rooms. So let's see here. That was a 6. So I need to roll d6 on the vermin table. And then, if I win, I'm going to roll on the treasure table, so that's cool. So, d6 on the vermin. So it's the same table I was on before, dang it. And I rolled a 2. So that means... 1, 2. We're fighting zombies. Alright. And, oh, my guys are still in a corridor, so that's kind of handy. Oops. Oh, come on now. There we go. Alright. So what do we got going on here? Got to write down zombies. And their level is average character level plus 2, so that's going to be level 6. Their number, how many are there? Just 3. That feels fairly doable. Okay, what else do we need to know about them? They have 1 attack. Let's see here. Well, now I'm confused. Now I'm confused about the number of attacks. That's just from them as a group, right? Man. It's been busy enough that I didn't really have time to review the rules as much as I wanted to. I was on kind of a roll before Christmas with this game, but then around Christmas time, I just kind of was done for a while. Had Vigigaming I wanted to do. Let's see. How to attack monsters, monster reactions. Let's see here. It's got to be around there somewhere. Monster reactions. I think there's a section on how monsters... Oh, yeah. Oh, wait, no. That's how to attack monsters. How do monsters attack? Monsters roll no dice. Is that in that section? Man, the organization of this book is just bonkers. When do monsters attack? How about that? That's on page 52. How to attack monsters? Page 20. So yeah, let's look at that. Oh my gosh. Monsters do not roll dice, blah blah blah. Defense rolls modified by armor. Who is attacked? Depends on the number of monsters. If a room with fewer monsters, Okay, I think that they each get 1 attack. I think that's how that works. Yes. Yes, okay. Sorry, I was getting confused. Because when you have a boss, it's usually going to have more than 1 attack. But I was like, is this per monster? It is per monster, not per group. It's weird. Because, when you have, like, these minions, then they have a number of them instead of life points. When it's a boss, it's life points. But it's essentially the same mechanics. And so I was trying to remember, is something different about the attacks and how the attacks work or whatever? Anyway, so it's not 1 attack from the whole group, which would be the case if this were a monster card. It would be just from the whole card, 1 attack. But this means 1 attack per monster, which will be 3 attacks coming at me. All right. Sorry, I know that me silently reading is just riveting for you to watch. Now, what's the reactions? Always fight to the death. They never test morale. Arrows hit them at a -1. They're immune to sleep and poison. So, let's see. First round, Rogue and Wizard are doing nothing. I'm not going to test reactions, but I do get to at least go first, since I'm not going to test the reactions, and just attack, baby. So, Patience the Dwarf is attacking. D6 plus his level of 4. 7. And these guys are level what now? Level 6. So that takes out 1 of them. The Cleric, this is an undead group of monsters. So Griffith the Cleric is going to use his Holy Mace and add... So he adds 1 because he's got an awesome blessed mace or something. And then he adds his full level. So it's going to be D6 plus 5. And that is a 9. Cool. So that's enough to take out 1 more. At this point, if they were normal monsters, because they are at less than half of their starting number, they would test morale, but they're zombies, so they don't test morale. So now they get a turn, since the Rogue and the Wizard aren't doing anything. But before they do that, Backlog Vault, thanks for jumping in the chat. It says, is it easier or harder for you to get immersed in a board game versus a video game? It depends on the type of immersion, I think. Because I find game systems can be very immersive. And so there are times where I will play a video game that's very simplistic in its visual presentation or its audio presentation, but it will have some nice mechanics that kind of immerse me in the idea of being in that world and having the abilities that my character or characters have and stuff. But there's also... so that's immersion, I think, on a interactive level. And then there's immersion on a more aesthetic level, which is going to be visuals, sound effects, things like that. And so, in that regard, certainly video games I become more immersed in. In tabletop games, the visuals are an important aid because they help bring out the theme in the mechanisms, but hopefully the mechanisms are tied nicely to theme and represent the theme well. And if they're working together, then I can get immersed in a tabletop game pretty well. So it really kind of depends. But what I would say is that the games I have been most immersed in on both levels, I have found in the video game space. They're pretty rare, but like, for example, a big open world RPG like the type Bethesda makes, or Elix 1 and 2, which I kind of really discovered a love for last year. Those have mechanical richness that takes me into the world and helps me feel like I'm interacting with it in these fairly rich and involved ways. And also, especially in the case of Bethesda games, have this nice, rich visual and auditory presentation. The crunchy boots I often talk about when I'm playing or reviewing video games, and other things like that can really kind of pull me in. So it really, easier or harder, it depends on the individual game more than it depends on the medium. But I would say that the games I have found myself most immersed in have been video games, and I think it's because they are more capable than tabletop games of engaging me both on a mechanical level and on an aesthetic level into a feeling of immersion. So, interesting question, Backlog Vault. Thank you for that. Okay, so we were in the middle of the zombies were about to attack. So let's see. There's just one of them left, and we're in a corridor. So he can only attack one of the front two, and I can choose which one. I'm again going to choose the dwarf, who needs to roll higher than their level on a single die. He's got a d6 plus 3. Let's see. No, my okay. Yeah, I was looking to see if my cleric had a bonus to defend against the undead. It doesn't appear that he does. But anyway, yeah, so d6 plus 3 is what I get for defense. Oh, nice. So 5, 6, 7, 8, which is well over that. So now it's back to my hero's turn. And if I get around to it, the rogue and the wizard can now go, but I don't think I'll need to. Here goes Patience the dwarf. He rolls 4 plus his level, which is 8, and that takes out the final zombie. Okay. Let's see here. I need to make a note of... This is the second minion that I have fought. Oh, wait a minute. Do you gain XP with vermin or just with minions? I think maybe just minions. But there's minions and there's vermin minions. That's really kind of a confusing thing. All right, I'm just going to, especially since it's harder to gain levels once you're up this high, I'm going to start giving myself points for vermin minions too. Because that's what sounds fun to me right now. Okay, so... that takes care of the zombies. I'll put those in my discard pile for my vermin deck. And we'll make a note of the fact that we fought zombies here. Okay. So we're going to continue upward here. "24 is the shape of the next segment. And, oh, okay, that's kind of interesting. Yeah, so this dungeon is starting to really branch off after all. Let's see. I think I will have that left curving door. I think that could be useful to expand this dungeon some more. Let's see. I got to keep track of... the bosses that I've fought, because every time you fight a boss, when you encounter them, and I forgot to, well, the statue counts as a boss, but it was a fixed boss. When you encounter a boss as opposed to a weird monster boss, yeah, I know. What the crap. You roll a d6 before determining who the boss is. So if you roll a 6 or the equivalent of it, then you will fight the final boss at that time. Otherwise, you'll just draw a random... You'll do whatever you roll on the table, or in my case, draw from the deck. But you add to that roll the number of bosses you fought up to that point. So it becomes increasingly more likely that you run into the final boss. That's how the dungeon progresses you to the climax. So... let's see here. Okay, so one door there. One door there. And this actually turns out is a door. Doors are relevant as opposed to open, like, walkways when you're escaping. If you can close a door behind you, I can't remember mechanically exactly how or why, but it does aid your escape in some way. Okay, so it's a room. Let's roll for room contents. Let's see. We rolled a 4. And so it's a D6 on the special events table. We rolled a 1. I don't know if that's going to be good. For more chat about geek entertainment, answers to your questions, and news from the wider world of Christian geekery, get the Christian Geek Central podcast today on iTunes and other podcast services.